President cut down my trees. She had no clue I'm a federal judge. I came home to find my sanctuary reduced to stumps. 3 magnolias gone. The dogwood tree where my daughter's wind chimes hung ripped out by the roots. A family of cardinals I'd watched hatch last spring, scattered and terrified. All because one woman thought she could play God with a clipboard. She didn't know who she was dealing with, but she would. My name is Monica Ellis. I'm 46, a federal judge for the Southern District. I'm not flashy. I don't name drop. I don't hang diplomas in my living room. I moved into Willowshade Park 2 months ago to escape noise, politics, and pressure. To give my daughter, Amara, a backyard full of birds, not bullet points. I paid for every permit, followed every regulation, and even attended the HOA welcome coffee where Karen Whitfield, the self-appointed queen of order, looked me up and down and said, "Your shutters are an unusual color for this neighborhood." That should have been my first clue. It started with passive-aggressive notes. Your trees drop excessive leaves onto the shared sidewalk. Bird feeders attract squirrels. HOA discourages wildlife feeding. You've hung non-regulation wind chimes. Sound violations apply. I replied once, my trees are permitted, my lot is private, and the wind chimes are for my daughter, who has sensory needs. That didn't go over well. A week later, I came home from court to find 2 landscapers in my yard. One was halfway through cutting the magnolia. The other was hauling branches to a truck with the logo Karens Green Code Services. Karen stood by, arms folded, smiling. I pulled in fast, slammed the car door, and walked toward her. "What do you think you're doing?" I asked, voice cold. She barely looked at me. "You ignored the HOA correction letter. Section 12A, unauthorized foliage overgrowth. We're restoring visual uniformity? This is my private property," I snapped. Those trees were in full compliance. Karen held up a sheet. HOA ordinance. You forfeited right to appeal by not responding within 14 days. I took the paper. It had no signature, no seal, no legal standing. I looked at the workers, put down the saws and stepped back. Now. They hesitated. Then I reached into my bag and held up my federal ID. The seal glinted in the sun. Karen blinked. "My name is Judge Monica Ellis, Federal Circuit, and what you're doing right now is trespassing and criminal destruction of property. You're not just breaking HOA rules, you're breaking actual law." Karen's mouth opened, then closed, then opened again. The landscapers dropped their tools. What followed was a cascade. I filed a police report that night, attached the video footage from my Ring cam, sent a cease and desist letter to the HOA board's official legal address, which didn't exist. That's when I discovered Karen had never filed proper nonprofit status. Her HOA wasn't legally registered. Her landscapers were paid under the table. Her violation letters, fake templates, printed at home. I called the city zoning office. Not only were my trees legal, they were part of a certified pollinator protection program. Karen had destroyed habitat protected by a federal biodiversity incentive. I wasn't just angry. I was ready. I assembled a case, reached out to a local reporter, scheduled a town meeting, invited the real city commissioner, printed copies of every fake notice Karen had distributed over the past year, dozens of them. Harassment toward immigrants, single parents, veterans. I walked into that meeting with a binder and a slideshow, and I introduced myself not as Monica, the new neighbor, but as Judge Monica Ellis, appointed under federal authority, sworn to uphold the rule of law. The silence was deafening. Then came the questions. Then came the gasps. Then came the anger. Karen tried to defend herself, said the community needed standards, said people like me were changing the feel of Willowshade. That phrase, "people like me," echoed in the room like a gunshot. She was done. The community voted unanimously to dissolve the current HOA leadership. Karen was charged with trespassing, destruction of private property, and unlicensed operation of a business. I sued her personally and won. She was ordered to pay for the full restoration of my yard, plus punitive damages. She moved out 2 weeks later. Today, my trees are replanted. The birds have returned. Amara's chimes sing again when the breeze stirs. We formed a real neighborhood committee, diverse, elected, compassionate. We don't lead with punishment. We listen. Power isn't in a title or a clipboard. It's in how you protect those who can't protect themselves. And when the law is wielded not as a weapon, but as a shield, the bullies fall. Every time, the end. Charter.